Well, hello everyone, I'm Darth Browner and welcome to the next part of my Ace Attorney playthrough. In the previous video, Phoenix decided to defend Max Galactica, who's been accused of murdering the famous ringmaster of WrestleBerry at Berry Big Circus. Now what we also found out was he kidnapped a ventriloquist doll and stuffed it somewhere. That's been returned, and now we're going to see some really kooky witnesses in the first part of the trial on Turnabout Big Top. Good morning, Max. Max? Milk? What? If I don't have a glass of milk before I go on stage, I just can't function, sweetie. Stage? Don't worry, there won't be a stage. All you have to do is sit down. I should fly, do you? Huh? When I enter the room, maybe I should... No, you're flying around the courtroom. Just do what Nick says and everything will be okay. Oh, sweetie. What was it this time, Max? Why don't you try flying into the courtroom? Ah, you can see it now. The dashing young lawyer flying from above. One glimpse of that, and everyone in the room will be on your side. Max, really, no one needs to fly today. Nick, what's with that look in your eyes? I like the sound of that dashing young lawyer flying fabulously. And now the case of one... What? Your Honour, get on with it! I'm sorry, I just realised that the defendant's name is Billy Bob Johns. So, well, isn't the defendant also known as Max Galactica? Yes, Your Honour, he does often go by that name. You know, my grandchild is a huge fan of his. I think everyone here wouldn't mind if we called the defendant Maximilian Galactica. It sounds more friendly. I wonder if that is to our advantage. Miss Von Carmer, your opening statement, if you please. I hope you didn't bother thinking you'd win this one, Mr. Phoenix, right? Eh? That spirit channeling trial was a sham. I refuse to acknowledge its legitimacy. It did not count, did you hear me? She must still be upset about what happened last time. You have no chance. Zero. Zilch. Nada. I'm not losing this case. Why, you ask? Because it's not in the nature of Von Karma to lose at anything. I guess being born with the name Von Karma is a free pass to be arrogant and annoying. Watch and learn, Mr. Phoenix, right? I'll show you the textbook procedure for proving how absolutely guilty you are. Me? Guilty? What are you talking about? It will be my ultimate revenge. It's not like it'll bring a dog back. There. Opening statement complete. Now let's hurry and wrap up this waste of time. Very well, you may call your first witness, Ms. Von Karma. Detective Dick Gumshoe, get up there now. Sorry to keep you from work, as I'm sure you'll need every penny you can earn. I've been looking forward to this. Very well, I'd like you to begin by shedding light on the events in question. At your service, sir. Alright, detective, you may proceed with your testimony. The night of the pouring snow was falling until 9:40 PM, making it extremely cold out. All of the circus performers were gathered in the big top to practice their routines. The practice session broke up around 10 PM. The murder itself took place in the plaza in front of the lodging house at 10:15 PM. The victim was found bent over at one box, dead as a doornail. The cause of death was blunt force trauma that snapped a vertebrae in his neck. I see, he was beaten to death. Here is the autopsy report for the victim. The report accepts this into evidence. Blunt object. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may begin your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honour. Let me ask about this then. It was nearly a blizzard up there until the time of the crime. Did it pile up? It wasn't such a big deal. Maybe about an inch and a half was on the ground. Snow froze in place and stayed on the ground until the next day. Snow, let me see. Let's go to the circus during the... Everyone but the dancers and staff were there. Regina the animal tamer, Mo the clown, Ben the ventriloquist, and of course the defendant, Max Galactica, and his victim the ringmaster. Oh, I almost forgot, Regina the tiger was there as well. Out of curiosity, what about the circus monkey? When I was investigating yesterday, he happened to snatch my wristwatch. Detective, you're welcome to a police report after these proceedings. Practice session broke up around 10 PM. After the practice was over, where did everyone head off to? Regina was playing with Regent, while Mo went back to his room tired from work. Then the ventriloquist went to the front gate and absorbed into his own little world. The ringmaster and Max went off to the ringmaster's room to talk privately. Talk privately, huh? That's awfully suspicious. You wouldn't happen to know what they were talking about, would you? Seems they were negotiating Max's salary. Actually, Max was asking for Regina's hand in marriage. The murder itself took place in the plaza in front of the lodging house at 10:15 PM. I'd like you to be a bit more specific about the events at 10:15. Okay, not a problem, pal. We got a witness that told us how the whole thing went down. This is totally meaningless. Time to move on. Alright, we'll just have to revisit that testimony later. Detective Gumshoe, would you mind telling us how the victim met his end? A wooden box. That's right. The victim must have been carrying a wooden box when he was killed. Carrying the box, huh? It was a rather strange wooden box, Your Honour. What do you mean? Well, it was much heavier than it looked, not to mention it was locked. Locked, you say? Maybe by any chance I might as well ask some questions. Do you mind telling us what was inside the box? Well, when we found the box, it was locked tighter than Fort Knox. You could backtrack it open. All that was inside was this little box. Well, it looks like, Your Honour, it's a condiment bottle. What's inside the bottle? It's filled with pepper. Pepper? Why in the world was it locked in that big box? When was the bottle in that huge box? I mean it. Blunt force trauma to... According to your autopsy report, the murder weapon was a blunt object, correct? Doing your own work, pal. And you haven't found the murder weapon, have you? The police are searching it as we speak. My theory is that something the perpetrator ran off with. You would think so, especially since you didn't find it on the scene. No, I bet he made it disappear with magic. Well, I think we have a good feel for the details of the event now. Guess that's all we're going to get out of Gumshoe in this case. You know what we're going to get out of him is that little bottle of pepper. Now we have wrapped up with the detective, let's call my next witness. I'm not even off the stand yet. Obviously, but that's due to you being slow and unable to take a hint. I don't know, but wrapped up has such a mean sound to it. I'm a sensitive guy. Thank you very much, Detective Gumshoe. You may step down. Now, Miss Von Palmer, call your next witness. I'd like to call Mr. Benjamin Woodman to the stand. She must be talking about Ben the ventriloquist. I wonder if Trina will show up on the stand as well. Please state your name and occupation for the record. My full name is Trina Quest. I'm employed as an operatic tenor. Excuse me? The witness calls to stand with one Mr. Benjamin Woodman, a ventriloquist. That route must be cutting off your circulation. I said that I was a singer. Maybe you didn't believe me. Fine, I'll grace you with a song. Me. The world at the law, exciting and daring, guilt or innocence. Decided by a judge dressed up like a woman. Well, what do you think? a good river. It's just the lyrics. They leave something to be desired, so to speak. Trito, you know better than to insult a judge. Shut up. Just look at your nose. You'd think you'd have the sense to fix it. It's so ugly I want to punch you in the face on the off chance swelling would help. You know that your nose is the reason you'll never be an A-list star. Celebrities must really enjoy saying everything that flashes into their minds. What's going on here? Order? Order? I demand to know who the witness is. Don't worry about me, sir. I'll let Trina handle this. I'm not worried about you one bit. I'm worried. Ow! You don't get anywhere trying to figure out this witness. Now let's proceed. Once practice was over, I left the clown. Once we got to the lodging house, I ditched him and went back to the plaza's entrance. That's when I saw Max heading towards the scene of the crime. He was the only one heading that way. How could that punk not be the killer? Then the police showed up and took Magic Boy away. You saw Maximilian Galactica heading towards the scene? You sure of that? Without a doubt, he had on his silk hat, cloak, and the dumb white roses on his chest. How can you mistake someone with that crazy get-up and his nose stuck up so high? That's enough, I think we all get the picture. Just one thing, you said you ditched the clown. That's right, dress boy. Well, since you went with him, couldn't that mean the clown committed the crime? He's got a point. What a shame. It was a nice theory, but the clown can't be the culprit. Why is that? Here's absolute proof. Silk hat? This was found at the scene of the crime. It belongs to the defendant. Without question, he was wearing his signature hat during practice. If the clown was the murderer, there would be no reason for this hat to be at the scene. Well done, Miss Von Karma. Your prosecutorial skills are unrivaled. Well done. Thank you for stating the obvious. Mr. Phoenix, right? What do you have to say? Oh, okay. I guess she's the boss again today. Are you sure it was really Max Galactica? Of course I'm sure. How could you mistake someone wearing such a snobby three-piece get-up? Snobby three-piece get-up? Get the wax out of your ears. Lawyers nowadays, you're like talking to a brick wall. Max's three-piece get-up. Jeez, could you be any more dense? All together now. Silk hat, cloak, white roses. Thank you. Nick, I think you should put a little bit more effort into preparing your questions. You saw Max and only Max, right, Trina? That's right, and that makes him the killer. If only one person headed that way that night. That makes quite a bit of sense and makes Max one suspicious character. There's more to this story than meets the eye. Is there something amiss in this? That's a bit strange, don't you think? What's strange? That you only saw Max. Doesn't it seem like you should have seen someone else as well? What were you going with this, Mr. Wright? Who else do you suppose the witness could have seen? That's the victim. That's correct. If Trio was at the entrance to the plaza, he should have seen the ringmaster as well. Obviously, the ringmaster arrived at the site of the crime before the witness. Could have seen anyone with sense could have. What are you talking about? The ringmaster and Max were together in the ringmaster's room. Is that, according to the defendant, a likely story? Maximilian Galactica was supposed to be in the ringmaster's room. Why was he, just as the witness stated, at the scene of the crime? I see. It seems that at this stage I have no reason to doubt the witness's testimony. There are clearly no conclusive contradictions. He's right. A brilliant judgment, Your Honor. Now let's move along with the testimony. Trio wouldn't happen to have an ulterior motive for incriminating Max, would he? Well, Max is part of that bitter love triangle with Regina, which is probably why Max conked him over the head. Nick? Wasn't Ben the one who got knocked over the head? Yeah, I think so. I don't know anymore. Around what time did the police arrive at the scene? I suppose that would be around... Hey, what time was that? I think it was around, let's say 10:30. Practice ended at 10, so you hung around the lodging house the entire time? I guess that sounds about right. Wasn't it awfully cold? I can't believe you just stood outside in that weather. Well, the truth is... Why you shut up, you big-nosed dope? Why are you telling him anything extra? Why can't you believe that we just stand outside in that weather? Well, maybe you were waiting for someone. What? Who said we were waiting for someone? Fair enough. But this witness, he's cracking under the pressure already. I'm onto something. Mr. Wright, who do you suppose the witness was waiting for out in the cold that night? Well, if he was waiting outside in the cold, it was for one person. And one person only. He was waiting for the animal tamer, Regina. You were waiting outside for Regina to come back to the lodging house. Am I mistaken? Is this true? Well, you can't really ask me that question. Who cares if I was waiting for that night? What's important is what I saw, don't you forget it. Well, the puppet may be a bit stiff, but he's right. Eh? Alright. There is obviously a reason why this witness was there that night. He spent all that time waiting for Regina to arrive. Moreover, even if someone else would have walked right in front of him, I doubt he would have paid them a second thought. That makes perfect sense. What did you just say? The witness saw the defendant at the scene of the crime. However, he did not see the victim on the way to his eventual demise. If you accept that, then you must accept that there is a high likelihood that he could have missed someone else other than Max heading to... Ow! There is absolutely no proof that the witness was waiting for the animal tamer. I guess you got me. Alright, I'll spill the beans for real this time. It's true, I was waiting for Regina. Pain. Don't volunteer things. Mr. Quest, tell us the truth this time, and I mean the whole truth. Were you, or were you not waiting for Regina at the entrance to the lodging house? You were what? Waiting to propose? What's the matter? You think that humans have a monopoly on marriage? That's a puppet marriage is not under review in this case. You're the judge? I mean, look at your horrible outfit. More pain. Makes your bumbling my perfect plan is not so perfect anymore. Now we have to waste time getting to the bottom of some silly proposal by a puppet. Don't be surprised that I was going to propose to Regina. I even had something to give to her. I kept it in my pocket, waiting for the chance to propose and give it to her. Of course, I also had it in my pocket that night. It was a present for her. In the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I still got it in my pocket. You're going to propose? You? A puppet? Don't be so chicks. Just because I'm a puppet doesn't mean I can't love. Well, I guess you're right. Just because I'm old doesn't mean I couldn't propose to her too. Exactly. His honour is looking a little less than honourable right now. Okay, Mr. Wright, please continue with your cross-examination. What was that sigh at the end? What was it exactly that you planned on giving her? You know exactly what I was going to give her, numbskull. Only thing I could find that could match Regina's beauty. Answer his question, what was it? You're gonna die when you hear this. It's an engagement ring. Those two need to fill their chairs. Mr. Phoenix Wright's joke has gone too far. Time for this to end right here, but it looks like it's about to lash out almost anything. One hit from that thing will probably shut someone up for a long time. It may be something of a joke, but this is a historic moment. The first time that a puppet has ever put... Ow! I advise you to cut this argument short. I'm going to have to agree with the defendants here. Will the witness please revise their testimony, specifically about the engagement ring? I'd like to stick to facts, not sociology. You sure do enjoy sweating the details, especially for a man in the black bathrobe. Frito, do you mind if I show you something? What is it? What are you talking about? Uh-oh, looks like they're going to double team me now. Do you recognise this ray? Ah, that's Mike, give it back, thief. Didn't you just testify about this very object? I believe you said. In the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I still got it in my pocket. Why then do I have it right here? What's going on here? That's... Ben, say something! Don't put me on the spot like that, Trina. I found this in Money's room. Money's room? You mean a room where they put money like a banknote? How that felt just a twist I would prefer if it provided a slandering infant fiats in my court. Well, Your Honour, Money really is a monkey in every sense of the word. Right, she? Well, go on then. Money likes to go after the shiniest things that can find and gather them. Things? Trina? When was this ring stolen from you? Well, I suppose it was that time, you know, that night, the night of the crime. What did you just say? Details, I need more details. Well, it was stolen right after Max showed up in the plaza. Right about when you saw the defendant walk past, correct? Well, I guess you might be able to say that. The ring might have, well, it might have been taken around that time. Ben, what's with you? Oh, whatever. It has nothing to do with anything, especially not with who committed the murder. It's not for you to decide what has to do with what. Now, Trino, back to the topic at hand. I haven't admitted the thing, not I, Mr. Trino Quest. What did you do when the ring was taken, Trino? Yeah, exactly what I did. I chased after that ring-snatching monkey Money. But you weren't able to catch up with him, were you? It's all this slow doty fool called Ben's fault. He's fumbling his way through the snow, that dumb monkey was able to get away. This is indeed an incredible shame. Well, this does indeed prove one very important point. Proving important possibly be. There is a huge contradiction in this witness's testimony. Contradiction? The witness just testified to the following effect. Up until the police arrived, he didn't move. The witness just stated that he chased after Money the monkey. When the witness was off chasing Money, there was no one watching the plaza. What is the meaning of all this, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Where are you going with this little theory of yours? I'm saying that there is no possible way this witness saw the plaza the entire time. That's where I'm going with this little theory, which leads me to my next point. It's entirely possible that someone other than the defendant was at the scene. Interesting, Mr. Wright. Well then tell me this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Do you have any proof that something slipped past this vigilant ventriloquist? Well, he obviously didn't see the victim, the ringmaster, arrive on the scene. However, that doesn't change the fact that he saw the defendant arrive. The witness is lying. He was blinded by his rivalry with Max. Wow, defense's argument does hold water. This witness does have a history of animosity towards the defendant. What? How dare you? I wouldn't lie just to get that dork face in trouble. He's not even worth it. I saw him, no doubt about it. I saw that worthless liar. Well, just for clarity's sake, let's flesh out exactly who you saw on the night. Ha! Told you so many times. You think you know my story's not changing? You only changed your story, Stickboy, and I'm sure it'll change some more. Where there is one lie, there are usually many more behind it. Exactly, Maya. That's why we have to keep after him. Yeah! I'll give you that I was waiting that night for Regina. That doesn't change the fact that I saw Max in the plaza that night. He showed up after I'd been waiting there for about 5 minutes. I said good evenings. Absolutely sure it was him. It was still Max Galactica at the scene. No way I could mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols. So that means that Money didn't show up until after you saw Max? That's right, Money ran it less than a minute after I saw Max. Then Money snatched the ring and you went chasing after him? How long was it until you came back to where you were waiting? Well, let's see, I'd say about, I suppose 5 minutes, I think. So the victim could have arrived at the scene in that 5-minute stretch. Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination. Trino, is it not true that you had a fight with Max on the day of the murder? A fight? A fight over Regina, to be exact. Or is that big of a deal? It was just an argument. A disagreement at most. Disagreement usually doesn't end with someone getting clonked over the head. That morning, Ben got clobbered over the head by Max, didn't he? What? Is that an admission of assault and battery? Ouch! Before we handle that, we should wrap up the defendant's murder charge first. Truth is, on the day of the crime, the defendant and witness had a huge fight. There's absolutely no way they would have become suddenly cordial that evening. Moreover, just consider the personality of the witness on the stand. No way a puppet this loose would just up and say good evening to his rival. Are you saying this witness is lying? That he is trying to frame the defendant by claiming to have seen him at the crime scene? I didn't tell a single lie, honestly, I just... That's enough from you. Yes, Your Honour. Let's clarify this testimony for the court. Could you explain your theory about who the witness actually saw that night? It is my belief that the witness did indeed see someone that night. It was just someone else. That's who he said good evening to. What kind of theory is that? Correct. Furthermore, I don't believe the person the witness saw was Max at all. What? If he had truly met Max that night, there would have been no greeting at all. Which means there was only one proper answer. The person the witness saw that night was not Maximilian Galactica. This is why Trilo made the effort to greet whoever it was that he saw that evening. Or good evening, as he put it. What in the world, you? Would the defense kindly explain who it was Trilo saw that evening then? Considering the ill temper of this witness, there's only one person he would greet. It must be Regina. It's Regina, right? She's so cute. No, Your Honour, it is not Regina. If it was Regina, Trina would have given her the engagement ring as a present. Oh yeah, I suppose you got a point there. It was Russell Berry, the victim himself, was it not? You are correct, it was indeed Russell Berry. The person you saw that evening was the victim, the ringmaster, Russell Berry. That's why you greeted him, Frida, isn't that correct? Answer the question, Mr. Quest. What? Order, how do you respond to this? Wait a second. Well, at first I thought it was the old man. But once I got a better look at him, it was obviously Max Galactica. I think it is high time that we clear the air about this question. Mr. Quest obviously witnessed a single person in the area of the plaza that evening. The problem is identifying exactly who that person was. Was it Maximilian Galactica? Or was it the ringmaster, Mr. Russell Berry? Prosecution argues it was the defendant the witness saw that night. The witness has clearly stated he saw the defendant's 3 symbols. 3 symbols? Alright, this is getting old. Come on, man, you gotta remember them by now. Here we go again, everyone. All together now. Oh. Yes, we know. The silk hat, cloak, and white roses. Silk hat and a cloak? Anyone could wear them. They even look good on me. What was that? Well, the witness has endlessly repeated that he saw Max's 3 symbols. However, how do we really know it was Maximilian Galactica? Could have been someone else dressed up as him. Possibly even Russell Berry. What? Do you have any clear evidence that the person the witness saw was the defendant? Well, if that's the case, then it is impossible for me to make a point. Yes, I think we finally won a point in this one. That is very unfortunate. You're just a little too excited for your own good, Mr. Fienwright. What do you mean by that? You merely established one thing from this witness. Your Honour, the prosecution will provide, beyond a shadow of a doubt, an answer to that question, evidence that clearly Maximilian... Very well. The court will take a 10-minute recess. During that time, I request the prosecution prepare the next witness. Sweetie, you have to believe me, I didn't go anywhere near that crime scene. So then, where were you when the murder took place? We talked about it yesterday, remember? I was in the ringmaster's room. And while you were there, it was the ringmaster who left the room, right? Exactly, he told me to wait in the room because he would be right back. That's when the ringmaster headed to the scene of the crime, right? That's what it seems like. The ringmaster must have been wearing Max's costume, right? Oh, sweetie, I just remembered. I went straight to the ringmaster's room, still dressed in my stage clothes. When I got there, I went ahead and took the costume off. Which means... It means that the ringmaster could have taken his costume and went out looking like Max. Fabulous, that is a fabulously possible possibility. Well done, Nick. However, sweetie, why would the ringmaster want to dress up like me? Isn't that a bit strange? If you think about it, all they found at the crime scene was my silk hat. What about my cloak? Where did that go? Double, Wow, Max, never thought of that. You should be a detective or something. Well, president, you have no idea how... Cool. Fabulous, this mystery just keeps getting deeper. Now that everyone is back, let's get started. Court is now back in session. Miss Von Karma, please proceed with the prosecution's case. Very well, I will now call my next witness. A pitiful clown with the unfortunate distinction of having seen the entire thing. Will Mr. Lawrence Curls please take the stand? Why did she just call him a pitiful clown? The witness will state his name and occupation for the court record. In West Philadelphia, born and raised in... That was a Fresh Prince reference, wasn't it? Name and occupation. Will the witness please inform the court why he's speaking autobiographical gibberish? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just not used to being in court. I've never been in a court in my life. I wasn't quite sure what joke is best suited to this sort of occasion. What in the world are you talking about? You're in a grand hall of justice, not some comedy club. So it is easy to see your occupation. Please state your name for the court. Oh yeah, maybe this joke is okay. Mum, do I have to wear pants? Society says no shirt, no shoes, no service. Okay, how about this? Have you met my proctologist, Dr. Seymour Burks? How was that one? But a couple of cars were up to no good, started making trouble. Your name? Lawrence Curls, professional funny man, also known as Mo the Clown. You witnessed the scene at around 10:15 PM, the day of the murder. Correct? Yes, it is. Very well, Mr. Curls, will you please testify to what you saw that evening? A rabbi, a priest, and a Rastafarian walked into this... Without the humour, please. Okay. Oh, poor Mo can't be his normal stoogy self in court. I know, I'm not the greatest comedian in the world. I've been able to make people laugh for 10 years. No matter what I say, all I get in return is a vacant stare and polite applause. Since no one ever laughs at my jokes, I've taken to laughing at them myself. It's a bad habit, but hey, at least I'm trying. Imagine my predicament. I'm a clown who can't make people laugh. I'm almost useless. I keep trying, I even try... Seriously, Evan, what do you think of me? How am I doing? He does ramble on, doesn't he? Aren't we the ones supposed to be asking the questions here? Witness? Huh? We will listen to your call for help after the court proceedings are over. Thus, please stick to the facts of this case. Really? You'll hear me out? Well, I'll make sure that one of my staff will be your straight man later. Thank you, I can't wait. Poor Gumshoe. Alright, that's settled. Can I begin once again with the testimony? Of course we can. I'll talk for as long as you want. The night of the murder, after practice was over, I went straight back to my room. You have no idea how tired I was that night. I was pooped. I thought I'd go straight to sleep, but before I did, I glanced out the window. That's when I saw two silhouettes. They were a bit far away though. It was the ringmaster, and he was with Max, who was wearing his cloak. Max clonked the ringmaster over the head. That's very interesting. If this eyewitness account is to be believed, I would have to pass judgment right now. Of course you can. There is no way this account could be criticised. However, this one is a bit, how do you say, off-kilter. Almost like he has some sort of atmosphere of guilt surrounding him. Well, that must be because my insincere smile. Mr. Wright, please begin the defence's cross-examination. Yes, Your Honour. Nick, you've got to find some kind of contradiction in his testimony. I know that. Mr. Wright, Your Honour, I'm afraid that if you push this witness too far, it would bring disaster upon the court. Thus, I sincerely hope you are not going to engage in pointless secret. I understand, Your Honour. If he calls this clown straight on the facts, I'll hold you responsible. Why am I responsible? I'm not the one with the corny jokes. You just happened to glance out of the window. You could say that. You could also say I peeked, stared, glimpsed, peeped, eyeballed. Mr. Curls? Oh, I guess Cinnamon's not allowed either. What should I do? I wonder if I should press him further on this issue. Exactly why did you look out of your window that night? Why? Why? Clowns don't need a reason to look out their windows, do they? That's not what I meant. I meant that, well, when we spoke yesterday, once I tucked myself into bed, I heard this amazing noise. It was incredibly loud. It sounded like a giant thump. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You forgot? The witness looked out of his window upon hearing a loud sound. He did not just simply glance out of his window that night. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot to mention that thump, didn't I? Oh, that's not something you forget to mention. Yeah, well she said. I believe it would be best if Mo were to revise his testimony. Very well, Mr. Curls, please revise your testimony. This should start turning the tables in our favour. Far away, you say? If you had to say exactly how far were they? Let me think about that for a second. If my room is here, and they looked about yay big, I'd say they were about 30 feet from my window. Just 30 feet? That's not far at all. It was snowing that night, and it cut down on visibility. I think, please continue with your testimony regarding the two shadows that you saw. You say you saw the ringmaster clonked over the head? Yes, I did. It's the climax of my story. He does enjoy the completely random non sequitur. What would you say the victim was struck with? You mean the weapon? I've no idea. A weapon wasn't found at the murder scene, right? That's not what I meant. You did say you did see everything, didn't you? Well, yeah, I suppose I did. Wait, no, I didn't see a weapon. No, did you? Or did you not see the crime of murder committed that night?
Objection!
I will not permit you to harass my witness in this manner. You better have an excellent reason for attacking this poor clown. Because if you don't, you know what is waiting for you. A nice penalty. Isn't that a bit melodramatic? So what would it be then, Mr. Phoenix, right? Do you have... I've got a great reason to make my claim. And I suppose you'll be telling us all that great reason? Of course I will. The reason is the witness's very own testimony. What is the meaning of it, Mr. Wright? Mo said that he heard a sound like a thump of someone getting hit. You did say that. However, Mo just stated the following under oath. I kept watching them and all of a sudden Max clonked the ringmaster over the head. If Mo is to be believed when he says he looked out the window upon hearing a sound, there is no way that he could have seen Max clonk anyone. In 1972, a crack value was Mr. Girls, how do you respond to Mr. Wright's assessment? They didn't commit. These cars promptly escaped from a maximum security command. Mr. Girls, are you reciting the C-Team themed Anglers Call? Lovely referencing there. You gotta love pop culture references. No, I was just stalling for time while I jogged my memory. Great job, Nick. These types of witnesses always seem to have a selective memory. You just have to peel back the layers of the calm makeup to find the truth. Well, you're back from your job? Well, it pretty much happened the way I said. Pretty much. When I looked out my window that night, the ringmaster was already face down in the snow. Prosecution helped me fill in the gaps of my statement. Von Carber? Tampering with witnesses again? So now you're saying that you did not see the defendant clonk the ringmaster? Yes. When I looked out my window, the ringmaster already checked out. Checked out? Yeah, he was on permanent vacation, as they say. Mr. Curls, Your Honour, you did not witness the actual crime, however you still say you saw the criminal, correct? Yes, exactly. Silhouette next to him. Very well, then please testify the silhouette you saw. I expect the truth. If I even catch a hint of a joke from you, I'll put you in a holding cell until you learn court etiquette. Got it? Got it. It was a bit far away, but this shadow could only have belonged to Max. There's no doubting it, especially since I saw his uppity symbols. His silk hat, that black cloak, they were all there. His face was silhouetted, but there was no doubt that it was him. His cloak was fluttering in the wind, so I couldn't really see what he was carrying. It does seem as if the defendant was at the scene of the crime. It took the clown long enough to get his facts straight. But whatever, this should finally be good enough. Yes? It is decisive testimony. Was Max really at the crime scene that night? He said he wasn't there. We have to believe in that. Alright, Mr. Wright, commit your cross-examination. You say you saw all of Max's uppity symbols. I suppose so, silk hat and the cloak, right? No. Everyone knows that Maximilian Galactica has 3 uppity symbols. 3 symbols? Yay, everyone get ready. All together now! Silk hat, cloak, white roses! What the? Who cares if he knew that there were 3 or not? He said what he saw, and isn't that right, Mo? Do you like pie? I love pie. Silence, fool. You are to respond with the whole truth, no fractions. Order, order. No, you didn't see the roses, did you? To be honest, there weren't any roses on the person I saw. The crime scene was dark. It's obvious it was too dark to see that kind of detail. But the witness said he was able to silhouette the criminal's face. Not to mention that the roses are white. There's no way he could have missed them. Then the roses must have fallen off when the defendant assaulted the victim. If that was the case, then the police would have found them near the crime scene. Mr. Wright, are these white roses truly material to the facts of the case? Clearly not, he is just toying with this court. The guy on the ropes now. These seemingly insignificant facts never fail to lead me to the truth yet. Someone is toying with the court, but it's not me. Your Honour, do you recall Trilo's testimony? There's no way I can mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols. How can you mistake someone with that crazy get-up and his nose stuck up so high? How could you mistake someone wearing such a snobby 3-piece get-up? Trilo saw them all. trio saw all 3 of Max's symbols. However, this witness claims there were no white robe resonances on the person he saw. There is absolutely no doubt this is a contradiction. Now what am I supposed to think? One is supposed to disregard the pointers, but this... Judge, forget about the roses, think about his other testimony. The witness has stated without a doubt that he saw Maximilian Galactica. Nothing else matters. Let's wrap this case up now. Your Honour, it may be trivial, but it does cast doubt on the prosecution's case. Frankly, I have my doubts about this witness. It seems that unlike wine, the witness has not grown more mature with age. I'm not mature. I've come to the conclusion, I'm 99% that this witness saw the defendant. However, my remaining 1% of doubt is quite reasonable. Which means that for my peace of mind, I'm going to request a bit more testimony. What? If there are no contradictions in his next statement, I am prepared to issue a ruling. A ruling? Nick, this is your last chance. No doubt in my mind there were no white roses that night. However, all the other symbols were there. I'm equally sure of that, especially the silk hat. No way I could forget seeing the original note. He was wearing it the entire time that he was on the scene. Mr. Wright, you've got one last chance at this. Just one chance? I will not allow even the slightest hint of badgering against this witness. If you are going to prove to me there's a contradiction with Mr. Cole's statement, you better have at least a shred of evidence to back up your accusations. I've only got a single shot at this, I've got to be careful. I understand, Your Honour, one chance is all I need. This wouldn't happen to be the silk hat you saw that night, would it? Yep, that's it. That's the hat he was wearing all that night. No question in your mind. Exactly how would one mistake a thing like that? I see. There's some sort of problem, Mr. Wright. Miss Von Karma. Where exactly was the silk hat? It's found at the crime scene. The crime scene? That means the silk hat fell off at the crime scene. However, the witness clearly testified to the contrary. The witness stated that he was wearing it the entire time that he was on the scene. No, that's not true. Order, order, order. Mr. Cross. Yes, Your Honour. What is the meaning of all of this? I'm not old enough to know better than to behave like this in court. Hey, that's just not right, that's so hard. What's not right here is your eyesight and your memory, amongst other things. I mean to me, what do I do? Let me guess, I just don't like my jokes anymore. You don't have to go in and saw my eyesight and my memory, they're both great. Seriously, why? It's because you are no how else, I would be younger than you. Enough of these childish outbursts, Mr. Kells. Who do you think you are? Saw him, I swear I saw him. It was Max. He didn't even have his rose, he was still wearing a dumb silk hat. I'm telling the truth. He turned to a bright little kid. It's pitiful, isn't it? He left the scene wearing that dumb silk hat. He was there. He left the scene? What's the matter, Nick? I've certainly not been mulling over for a while now. Mo, what do you want? You just said he left the scene. How did the murderer leave the scene of the crime? What? He went... What do you mean, how did he leave the scene? You can't ask me that. Mr. Phoenix Wright is badgering the witness, Your Honour. The witness's testimony is so full of holes, Ms. Von Karma's protest is useless. Right with you, little guy. Don't talk to me like a little baby. Besides, what kind of stupid question is how did he leave the crime scene? The answer's obvious, he just turned around and walked away. That's what I expected you to say. Sure that's how it happened? Say what? I'm not sure I know exactly where I'm going with this. Lawyers nowadays sure do love to harp on the smallest things. Do you have any proof to counter as to how the criminal left the scene? Look at this picture. Problem is the footprints in the snow. For proof. In this photo we can clearly see the footprints of the victim. However, where are the criminal's footprints? They aren't there. Hi. So, Mo, exactly how did the criminal escape the scene? Your Honour, this witness has already proven his testimony is completely unreliable. I move to strike all of this witness's testimony from the court record. I agree. This clown's testimony is as rickety as the clown car he came to court in. Wait just a second. You guys can't just ignore everything I've said. Fine, I'll tell you the truth this time. You wait a second. I think you've said more than enough for today. That didn't hurt. I'm sick and tired of listening to you anyways. I'll give you the realest deal this time, I swear. I know this. Before they get better. Mr. Lawrence Krause? Yes? Testimony you provided up until now has been false? Hasn't been false, I haven't lied, it's just what? Just I was a bit confused on the bit about the criminal leaving the scene. Especially since Von Karma and her whip told me not to talk about what I really saw. Order, Francisco Von Karma, how could you? Your Honour, if you had heard the truth from this witness, you would have exactly the same opinion as I have. What opinion is that? It's not let's hear the truth about what you say you saw, Mr. Krause. Hey, you're not going to believe this, but it's all true, I tell you. Try not to waste our time with your idiotic drivel. Now it's time for our next segment, Mo Knows. Everything that I've said up until now has been the truth. When I looked out the window, the ringmaster was down and Max was standing above him. He wasn't wearing his white roses, but he was wearing a silk hat. That's when I saw he... This is the truth now, get ready for it. He jumped up and flew through the air. He flew right off and disappeared into the darkness. That's why there were no footprints. Flying people don't leave footprints. I told you, it wasn't funny. Do you believe me now? Well, that was, how do you put this into words? Max Galactica is a world-class magician. But to leave the scene of the crime by flying, there's no way that actually happened. You're right. Why is she right? You believe the other witness. Why don't you believe me, especially since it's the best part of the story? To be honest, this is the first time I've heard of a flying criminal. What do you think about this witness's testimony, Mr. Wright? It's obvious that the witness's eyes are playing tricks on him. Don't be such a fool. Who in the world do you think I would mistake that jerk for? Jeez, I didn't say you were lying. Wow, he looks really serious right now. More serious than he's looked all day. I suppose I'll let you in on my thinking regarding this matter. Criminal disappeared into the sky. I'd love to believe that, but I just can't wrap my head around that could actually happen. Do you disregard the need for proof Miss Von Karma's case is sound? However, I've got the feeling that this case is in dire need of more investigation. Whereas I will conclude today's proceedings at this point. It is an undisputed fact that the criminal left no footprints at the scene. Tomorrow, I want us to find out the reason behind the mystery of mysteries. I believe that's enough for today. Court is adjourned. Hey, sweeties, what in the world's going on? That's what I want to know. They say the criminal flew off into the air and disappeared. Max, I can't believe I'm asking this, but you didn't fly that night, did you? No, you didn't mean to ask me such a fabulously stupid question. I can't fly wherever I please, it's not that easy. It looks so effortless for you on stage. It's not that simple, I'm not actually flying on stage. I use invisible wires and I have them hoist me through the air. Wow, you just told me a secret to your magic. No, I broke the first rule, the cardinal rule, the only rule. I'm sorry, Max. It made you break a magician's creed and never reveal the secret to their tricks. Nick, what do we do now? What we can do now is hopefully find the flying criminal in court tomorrow. Great idea, let's do our best and catch this sucker. And that brings us to the end of today's video. This has been Darth Browner. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give us a like and hit that subscribe button. Ciao for now, everyone. Bye.